Tom, get your feet out of bed. It's been 4 days since the cow's been fed. No surprise that the rooster is dead. Tom was a fisherman's son, the son of a hard-working man. His father lived on the sea, young Tom preferred dry land. Tom, how his mother would shout, what a no good boy is he. His mother would weep, but Tom was asleep underneath a juniper tree. Wake up, lazy Tom, get your feet out of bed. It's been 4 days since the cow's been fed. No surprise that the rooster is dead. Mary Ann was the bride of conception day, the daughter of old and more. Tom went a-courting Mary Ann when Nan was on the Labrador. Her father came home that year, the girl was in a family way. Tom and Mary got married in the church down the road. Tom cried all day. Wake up, lazy Tom, get your feet out of bed. It's been 4 days since the cow's been fed. No surprise that the rooster is dead. Well, I can change that man, said Mary Ann. We'll make this house a home. He'll do what I tell him to and never need to roam. And though her intent was good, Tom drank till he nearly drowned. Tom went to bed when the sun came up, got up when the sun went down. Wake up, lazy Tom, get your feet out of bed. It's been 4 days since the cow's been fed. No surprise that the rooster is dead. Tom made for the bed, but ended up on the floor. Reached out for his wife, but he banged her on the head. She let out a blood-curdling roar. Tom came to and opened up his eyes, and the twisted whiskey mourned. There, lying in the bed where his wife should be, was a devil with a broken horn. Wake up, lazy Tom, get your feet out of bed. It's been 4 days since the cow's been fed. No surprise that the rooster is dead. Wake up, lazy Tom, get your feet out of bed. It's been 4 days since the cow's been fed. No surprise that the rooster is dead. You're an old good man for your family. About an old man that I know. He got his cabin in an outport that closed down years ago. The first day that I met him, it was clear to me that he was a hardy sailor who made his living from the sea. He signed on board a fishing schooner when he was just 14. And his thoughts were often crowded with the things that he had seen. Now at 83 he sits there caught up in his memories, and he'll spend his lifetime dreaming and looking out to sea. He spent days and days not eating, with no land to be seen. And I've often heard him say he would live it all again. But those days are gone forever, and it can never be. So he's content to tell his stories while looking out to sea. He'll place his elbow on the window of his little island home and just sit there for hours gazing at the raging foam. There's a sign nailed to his cabin for everyone to see, and it reads cabin number 1, looking out to sea. will be told. In his home in Rantham Harbor, just up from Chisel's Cove. So drop by and you take pleasure in his hospitality. In his little seaside cabin, JP's looking out to sea. In his little seaside cabin, JP's looking out to sea.
What do we got on the grill? What do we got on the grill?
I got many big steak on the grill. I got everybody else to cook.
Oh yeah. How they looking, boys?
Looking good.
Oh man. Maybe do two at a time then.
Problem solved. There we go.
That's how we make bread.
Come get your duds in order, cause we're bound across the water. Heave away, be jollies, heave away. Come get your duds in order, cause we're bound to leave tomorrow. Heave away, I mean jolly boys, we're all bound away. Sometimes we're bound for Liverpool, sometimes we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away, I mean jolly boys, we're all bound away. I wrote me love a letter, I was on the Jenny Lynn. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. I wrote me love a letter and I signed it with a ring. Heave away, I mean jolly boys, we're all bound away. Sometimes we're bound for Liverpool, sometimes we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away, I mean jolly boys, we're all bound away. Say darling Costas, now I'm gonna leave ya. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. You promised that you'd marry me, but how you did deceive me. Heave away, I mean jolly boys, we're all bound away. Sometimes we're bound for Liverpool, more times we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away, I mean jolly boys, we're all bound away. We're bound for Liverpool, sometimes we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away, and me jolly boys, we're all bound away. Sometimes we're bound for Liverpool, more times we're bound for Spain. Heave away, me jollies, heave away. But now we're bound for old St. John's, where all the girls are dancing. Heave away, and me jolly boys, we're all bound away. Heave away, and me jolly boys, we're all bound away. Heave away, and me jolly boys, we're all bound away.
Some years ago, since I left from my island to go to the mainland, like the old folks would say, as I walked up the gangway and I stood on the starboard and I gazed on the harbor on a grey foggy day. Summer days, they were warm warmer then when we laughed with the old fishermen, and they cursed when the fog rolled in. Then they made up the hay. It's been more than a long, long time since I held you and called you mine, and we waited for the sun to shine on a grey, foggy day. In the early morn to the sound of the old foghorn, and wait for the men to return with their boats in the bay. All these things I don't see no more when I lived on the old Cape shore, and I gazed on the boats on the moor on a grey, foggy day. Summer days, they were warmer then when we laughed with the old fishermen, and they cursed when the fog rolled in. Then they made up the hay. It's been more than a long, long time since I held you and called you mine, and we waited for the sun to shine on a grey, foggy day. As long as my heart doesn't break from those old memories, old lovers and old used to be, I'll come home for to stay. I can still hear the ocean roar through the hills on the old Cape shore. There are no fishing boats anymore, but it's a grey, foggy day. Summer days, they were warmer then when we laughed with the old fishermen, and they cursed when the fog rolled in. Then they made up the hay. It's been more than a long, long time since I held you and called you mine, and we waited for the sun to shine on a grey, foggy day. And I pray that the sun will shine on this grey, foggy day.
Wow. Nice mallet. This is my Christmas gift today.
Yeah?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I didn't sleep, Santa.
Excuse my language.
Nice toque, Tim.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, too.
No duct tape necessary.
Farmer's fat. Here's the salt.
In her eyes there was moonlight, and the rose in her hand. In my arms there was no one. so I put her there. On her lips was a promise, in my heart was a prayer. When I finally went, I went home with the scent of the rose in her hair. On her face there was beauty, a picture to see. In her arms there was someone she loved more than me. In my mind was a vision, so lifelike and clear. When I finally went, I went home with the scent of the rose in her hair. And then I awakened, it was only a dream, for she lay there beside me, so gently asleep. As I kissed her in slumber, I whispered a prayer, and peacefully went back to sleep with the scent of the rose in her hair. As I kissed her in slumber, I whispered a prayer, and peacefully went back to sleep with the scent of the rose in her hair.